So we're going to look at working with video clips with audio. So I've got an interview here that we looked at in class, and if I click on the waveform, I can see what he's saying here. I'm going to hit I and just go to the end of this, or till when he really stops talking. He doesn't finish his sentence here. So this is basically the end of what makes sense. And then if you switch back to video, you can drag from here, right? Or you could, if you had a sequence, you could do this. We don't have a sequence, so we're going to drag it in. I'm going to double click to make it bigger and double click here to make it bigger. I'm going to hit backslash. This is linked audio, right? So if you decided you didn't want both, or if you wanted to change the length of them separately, if you hold Option or Alt, you can click on one of them and you can change the length. Or let's say you just wanted the audio, you could hold Option or Alt and click on the video and delete it. You also have this here, link selection. Be careful if you turn this off and it's white, you're then breaking the selection with your clips and you can knock things out of sync, which gives you this little red panel here. You can also right click on this and you have to be right on it, and you can say move into sync and that will fix it. So be careful. You want this to stay blue, so it's going to see this as one clip. So we have this section here, and I'll use the Option Alt trick to dynamically scroll with my middle mouse. And we just want to cut this up into pieces, right? So grab your razor blade and click in the middle. Go back to your selection tool. If you remember, Q trims the heads and W trims the tails. So go over to this clip here, hit Q, come over here, hit W, Q, W, Q, and then W. Then I'll hit backslash and I'll just play it. So remember, we want our main audio to be around -12, so I could highlight everything and press G. Remember, G is a shortcut for audio gain. And I could say normalize all max peaks, and I could say to -6, and that means that this won't go above -6. If you need to and you're not using other audio, like if you just have somebody talking, you could go in here and make it something like -3 and make it a little louder. We have that. So that's closer to what we want. Again, your audio is gold here to show you that you have an effect applied, so it's not the default settings, because it's gray by default, right? But now it's this gold color. So this is what we talked about in the class, is a radio edit. We're just telling the story here, and we just want this to flow and sound correct. We're not worrying about B-roll at this point. I would go and reveal sequence and project, and I would call this Age of Airplanes, and I'm going to call it radio. And then when I do a B-roll version, I'm going to do it in another sequence. So I'm going to right click on the sequence and say duplicate, and I'm going to call it AOA B-roll. So this way you're kind of versioning things, and it's kind of covering you in case somebody changes their mind and they just want to go back to what the first one looked like. So in the B-roll one now, right, I can use B-rolls to cover the cutaways, right? We're going to have jump cuts. Let me just mute this. We're going to have jump cuts, right, between these places because we're cutting out pieces of the video. All right, so we're going to put some B-roll in. Again, when you're doing your interviews, you want to make a note of what you actually want to see, what the people are talking about. So in this case, I could just drag this in like this, and then here's my B-roll. And I can slide this B-roll around. Again, you want to put A-roll on video 1 and B-roll on video 2. Put everything on a separate track. I put titles on video 3. I would put adjustment layers on video 4. You can rename your tracks, right, by right-clicking. So you could call this A-roll, and you could call this B-roll. So the more complex stuff you're doing, the more you want to be really detail-oriented and name everything.